Let's start with a very blunt yet true statement, and that is, it's almost impossible to succeed if you cannot communicate effectively. Now let's take that a step further. If you're able to make powerful presentations, your chances for career success will increase tremendously. These are facts, yet many people still can't face them. And the reason is simple. They can't leave their comfort zone. For many people, their comfort zone does not include speaking to groups of people. It scares them to death. The key to overcoming this fear is to take control of the process, to be so sure of what you're doing that you can handle any speaking situation. Like anything else, this requires the knowledge and tools to make it happen. We're going to give you these tools in 30 very specific action tips, all geared to effective presentations.
The first action tip is clear-cut. Know your attitudes toward making presentations. This means you need to be honest with yourself. You need to determine specifically how to improve your communication skills. Now, to help you do this, we've provided a questionnaire in the book. Answer all the questions. If you find you have problems in certain areas, write a goal for personal improvement. Now, these goals need to be specific. For example, let's say you need to improve your vocabulary. Your goal might be to read one more book a month and one more newspaper a day. And as part of that, another goal might be to look up in a dictionary words you don't understand, or learn 5 new words a day. That's about 150 per month, or 1,800 new words a year. Now, this will quickly improve your vocabulary and give you more confidence when making presentations. If you set similar goals in other problem areas, you'll progress quickly.
But to do this, you need to make a commitment. And that commitment is our second action tip. Tune out negative self-talk and perception.
How in the world am I going to do this? These people know 10 times more about this than I do. They're going to think I'm an idiot. Man, this is just unbelievable.
It's a classic case of negative self-talk. We work ourselves into a dither of anticipated rejection and failures. We tell ourselves we can't possibly pull off this presentation. The key here is to recognize that much of our self-talk is not true. We're projecting all kinds of dire consequences that don't have to happen. To prevent this, begin by identifying your self-talk. Write down all your negative thoughts and then analyze them carefully. You may find you're labeling yourself with words like idiot or stupid. You're constantly thinking of what you should have done or ought to have done to prepare for the presentation. You're simply manufacturing all kinds of negative thoughts. But there are ways to stop this. Once you've written down all those negative thoughts, you'll quickly find that some of them are totally irrational. The more you recognize this, the easier it'll be to ignore these thoughts. And one way to make this happen is through a technique called thought stoppage. As soon as you start thinking negatively, give yourself a command to stop. Make this command strong enough to startle your negative thought process. Then replace the negative thought with a positive or a neutral thought.
How in the world am I going to do this? These people know 10 times more about this than I do. Stop! Wait a minute. There's no reason I can't pull this thing off. Yeah, these guys are smart, but they're not brain surgeons. I can do this thing. I've just got to make it happen.
If you follow these techniques every time you're worried about a presentation, you'll soon see positive results.
Another factor in making presentations is your credibility. Action tip number 3 is build your personal credibility. The more credible you are, the more your audience will accept your ideas. Now, one key to credibility is expertise, and that can only come from study and preparation. So be ready for every presentation and make sure you know your facts. Believe me, this alone will build your confidence. Another element in credibility is trustworthiness. People will believe your presentations if they see that you're sincere and willing to recognize other points of view. Now, credibility is also enhanced by composure. Dress for success and appear calm and collected. The speaker who looks nervous and messy and disorganized tends to have low credibility. A famous soldier once said, "Never let them see you sweat." And finally, be lively. People tend to like speakers who are animated and interesting. Now, this doesn't mean loud and overbearing, but simply outgoing and compelling.
All right, we're now ready to think about our actual presentation. And that brings us to action tip number 4. Be realistic about your intent. Ask yourself 2 questions. First, what can I reasonably expect to accomplish from this presentation? And second, what specifically do I want from my listeners? Build most of your presentation around these 2 ideas. Don't stray into a lot of peripheral areas. You're now ready for one of the most important things you'll do in any presentation. It's summed up in one critical word: prepare.